Canada and its NATO allies are again ruling out any direct involvement in the fighting. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been urging NATO to do more to protect Ukraine's military and civilians from Russian airstrikes. CBC's Salima Shivji is in Brussels covering that NATO meeting.
This extraordinary meeting comes after days of hearing Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky pleading with NATO leaders, with world leaders, to do more, to implement a no-fly zone. If they couldn't implement a no-fly zone, for NATO to send warplanes instead. His warnings that Europe is in the crossfire here and Europe needs to do more or the conflict will reach its borders even further. That's what we've been hearing for days here. The term no-fly zone, that demand from Ukraine's president, that big ask. And so NATO, though, very wary of the situation, worried that if they do go in that direction, it will escalate this conflict further, pulling NATO into what would become a global war. And so today, a definitive answer from NATO's Secretary General in terms of that question of a no-fly zone, what NATO is going to do.
On a no-fly zone, it was mentioned at the same time. Allies agree that we should not have NATO planes operating over Ukrainian airspace or NATO troops on Ukrainian territory.
So no NATO troops on Ukrainian soil, no planes in the air. But from the foreign ministers here and those around the table, there was a lot of talk of a united front, of unity, of working in lockstep to keep putting pressure on Vladimir Putin and to counter Russia's aggression, with the undercurrent being that worry that nuclear plants are being targeted in Ukraine as well. So worry around the table, a resolve to work together and with a united front to shore up the eastern flank of NATO and basically to scale up what is already being done. So plenty of NATO members have sent their own weapons, ammunition, machine guns, rocket launchers to help Ukraine. The decision here is to keep going in that direction, keep scaling up that help to help Ukraine get through this conflict. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Brussels.